We are now recording. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. This is Alvin, Will, and Mike with INVSTUR. INVSTUR is our startup company for cryptocurrency mining. Cryptocurrency mining as our foundational business that we will seek to complete this first year. And as we develop, we're going to roll out other cryptocurrency related systems and products for you guys. I am the director of sales and strategy for this company. I help to shape how the company is going along in conjunction with Will and Mike. And we seek to basically just develop a phenomenal opportunity for us, people who may not have the most capital at this time, but at the same time, to bridge between what we call this old world of money and a new world of money, and seeing how we can position ourselves and our investors in this developing world. Will is on the line right now. He is our director of technology and R&D. Will has a sizable amount of experience in the IT field, as well as with some programming and the actual development of the rigs. We derived our system based upon the experience and numbers Will has developed from his own personal mining. Will, are you there?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Cool.
All right, so you just heard Alvin, just basically lay out what we're going to be doing today and whatnot. For those of you guys who don't know me personally, I live here in Central Florida. I've had over 15 years in IT and computers in general. Currently working on my master's in computer engineering. I've been mining for just about a year now and learning and developing in the crypto sphere. So I will be handling the actual building of the rig systems, maintaining and all of that for the company, and making sure we're profitable, basically, because that's going to be our core our core way of making a profit for you guys, for anybody who invests with us, I should say.
Yeah, we are in the business to take advantage of this great opportunity of the developing cryptocurrency world. Yep. And underlying technology of the blockchain.
Yeah. So really quick, for guys who are in the meeting right now, and for people who might be watching this meeting later on, let's just give a quick overview of what cryptocurrency is. Cryptocurrency is basically digital money. It's digital currency, just like any like the US dollar, for example. It's basically, just to make it simple, it's basically bytes of computer information that are encrypted, and has basically the encryption becomes a serial number for that single byte of information, and you can give it to somebody and it has value. Now, it's that idea in itself is built upon the bigger picture, which is called the blockchain. And what is the blockchain? The blockchain is basically the same system the banks use and centralize in one location to record every transaction, and they own that system. Now, the blockchain makes it open source. So you have nodes all across the world working as one unit, and they each have the same copy of the blockchain. So if you buy into a coin like Bitcoin, you essentially not just have the currency, but you're actually part of the network itself. So it's a self-governing network. And because it's not centralized, there's the chance of hacking that system is literally next to zero. And this is just the tip of the iceberg. We don't have time to lay out the scope of possibilities when we're talking about the blockchain here in this one meeting. Part of our goal is also to educate our investors about this technology, this upcoming technology. And in future meetings and with our investors, we will be going more in depth into the possibilities of the blockchain, where the technology came, and where it's going, where we are now, etc. But that's basically the general gist of it. Um, just one last note is, if you guys ever heard of Bitcoin, started out in 2008. That's what really started the whole thing. And in 2008, Bitcoin was worth less, like literally, you could, with a penny, you could probably buy, 1,000 Bitcoins when it first launched. And then slowly but surely, it started gaining value. And right now, I have the chart in front of me, and Bitcoin is actually exactly at $6,000 per Bitcoin. And now that sounds like a huge number. You also have to remember Bitcoin is also divisible into 100 million, and each piece of that million, of that 100 million, is called a Satoshi. So if you have one Bitcoin, doesn't mean you have to spend one Bitcoin. That's just the general overview of what cryptocurrency is. It really is the technology of the future, and you can see why we're very excited about this technology, and really trying to make this happen, to bring opportunities to investors who may not have the knowledge but want to take advantage of this area of growth. It looks like Michael just joined us.
Yes,
So
I did.
Michael, just give us
Nice.
a brief overview of you, and so the people can get introduced to you, and maybe talk about something that you're passionate about and that you bring to the company.
Mike is our
All right.
director of legal and compliance. Mike's been very integral in helping us to structure our business. So, and also structure it for longevity, meaning this is something that we want to promote as much transparency with, as well as structure and protection for your interests as well. So, all right, Mike, let them
All
know.
right. Thanks for the introduction. Basically, again, as Alvin introduced me, my name is Michael Murphy. I've been in the banking industry for well over 20 years. I dealt with pretty much securities, fraud, and things of that nature. I know what they look for, what they don't look for. I'm actually passionate in actually helping people and helping others, seeing others grow, being successful in what they want to do. I I basically look at trends and avenues that are happening, take advantage of them, and use those trends to show people how they can grow in whatever they want to do. As far as the legal is concerned, as I said, I've been in the banking industry. I've been in trading forex for over pretty much 20 years, and that's what I bring to the table. I make sure that we're in compliance with what is SEC is looking for, even though at this current stage, cryptos is something that's kind of seen as a novelty, but this particular novelty is going to end up like the internet. And if you guys recall, back in the 80s, the internet was something that was like not even thought of. Now we can't even think about our daily lives without the internet. We walk around with it every single day. It's on our phones, it's in everything we do. And this is what's happening with cryptos. So what I do is I make sure that investor is compliant with all banking regulations, all trading regulations, so that we're here for the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. I mean, the goal is to build something so that we can all retire on, not just make a quick turnaround and have fun. This is for retirement, and that's the whole plan, and that's the whole idea of investor. Is as it says, the acronym, investor, invest in your
Let's
future.
do the future. We are, yes, we are not a sprint type of business. We are a marathon type of business. We're designing ourselves to be built for longevity and for endurance. All right. Well, let's get to the bottom of it. Let's talk about the actual company, INVSTUR. INVSTUR was an idea that was put together piece by piece between Will, which actually gets credit for the first idea. We have a Facebook group, cryptocurrencies, for cryptocurrencies, and in that group, alongside from educating each other with about cryptocurrencies, we also had the idea of getting deeper into the idea of mining cryptocurrencies. So instead of just simply buying the cryptocurrencies and hoping and speculating on their appreciation, we wanted to be a part of basically the blockchain's ecosphere. We wanted a piece of real estate in the crypto environment. And so that's what mining allows you to do. Mining allows you to give you a position into actually helping to develop the infrastructure with your energy and with your technology. And so we wanted to venture into that. Why INVSTUR? Why not just on our own as individuals? Well, it goes back to the concept of being stronger as a unit than as individuals. And so we wanted to, that's one reason for INVSTUR. Another reason for INVSTUR is because we're African American and Afro Latino people generally, and we wanted to create an experience to help educate people who are willing to learn about business development, about generating passive revenue, about preparing for a world that's coming, a more digitized, a more automated world. And so with that being together, with the bigger picture ideas kind of coming from my mind of how we could do this and pull in investors and develop the means, the legal structures and things like that over time, Mike, Will, and I, just kept on brainstorming, and we realized that we could make an opportunity out of this thing. And we only needed like 30 to 50 people to start it. And not only 30 to 50 people, but 30 to 50 people who don't need a lot of capital to do it. So to us, eventually it became a no-brainer. And we wanted to, and here we are right now on our interest meeting, developing the legal structure, ready to rock and roll. So what's in it for the standard investor with INVSTUR? Our model is, we use capital primarily to build mining rigs, period. Mining rigs are the hardware, which will probably briefly go through. They are just pure instruments of computing power. What do you need computing power for? Well, the blockchain and the various different coins that are derived from the blockchain require hash power. Hash power is the simulation of actually developing a unit of such currency. And so the way that it works is that generally the more hash power and the more efficient hash power you have focused simply on mining the coins, the more coins you generate over time. And that is where the value in our company comes from, the hashing power and a powerful system that we develop around it. Will, you can take it from there.
Yeah, definitely. So basically, the way the company will be making the money is, like Alvin just explained, every coin is part of a blockchain network. It runs on a specific blockchain. Now, that blockchain is governed by what's called an algorithm. Now, the algorithm has a certain number of coins locked in it, waiting to be discovered. And the way we're paid is basically we build what's called a rig, mining rig using video cards, and we supply the computing power to the chain so that they can use that to process transactions. Now, they use our processing power to process these transactions. In return, they slowly unlock these locked coins from the algorithm and pay us in that actual coin which holds value. So for example, Bitcoin today is worth $6,000. So you would get paid slowly but surely based on your actual hash power, and you get paid slowly. So so if you have a farm like we're trying to build, you could the sky is the limit. The more rigs you build, the more you get paid. And once the rig exists, it doesn't just stop making money after the first month. It makes money for as long as the hardware is well maintained and can run, and that's basically forever. So this is how we're going to make the return for our investors. And in the meantime, we're gonna use uh, new investor contributions to grow the company, and we're also going to internally use some of that capital to grow the company, which means a bigger slice of the pie for everybody who invests into the company.
Yeah, the value is going to be not only in the technology and the application of it, but the continued focus on the efficiency of our system. That's where the stronger value is going to come from, and also the development of other models related to the cryptocurrency, which we won't cover in this first meeting, but we'll let you guys know as it develops. Much of that stuff is going to probably be for our investor insiders. To become an investor insider, you have to have your position financed, and you also have to have your contact information, which means your legal name, your Facebook or social media name, your contact info, phone numbers, and your most reliable email. But I'm just telling you that this is our first and foundational model for this company. But this company is housed around cryptocurrency, period. Yeah, what's up, Will? You got something to say?
Oh, well, I was just gonna say, yeah, just to build on what you're saying is we are gonna be all things crypto. So we have plans to expand not just from mining. Actually, we have at least three great ideas waiting to be implemented once we've launched and we're off the launch pad. And so it's a great time to come on board while we're building this, because we will discuss later, there will be basically great opportunities for people who came at the ground level.
All right. So we've discussed us, we've discussed the business and the model. Let's get to the real stuff. Let's talk about the money behind this. For our first year, as we developed and get our 30 to 50 partners and finalize our legal structure and also develop our rigs and turn the power on, within that year's time, we are seeking and we are very confident that we will be able to generate for everyone involved up to 44% return on your money. So whatever you put in within that year's time, throughout the quarters, once you add it up, we are seeking to push towards that up to 44% return. I want to ask you a question. What other vehicle can you readily say at this very point right now that would generate a return for you like that, or up to a return for you like that, with a relatively small position like this? I've been looking at passive investments for, who knows, like 15 years or something like that. And most of my focus was on real estate, and to an extent it still is. In order to get a return like that, achieve a return like that, you really have to have some very tight numbers, and the entry capital to such an investment like that is at least 20% on average. I mean, 20,000 on average. And what we're proposing is that with a very conservative initial investment of $1,000, we have a shot at achieving that because of the nature of the crypto universe and also the nature of our changing economy. And that's the bottom line. That's why we're excited about it. That's why we're in your face. That's why we're in different groups, because we see opportunity and we want you to be here to help us with that as well. You got something to add, Will?
Well, yeah, well, basically, I helped develop the model that came up with the 44%, and that's based on real numbers. That's based um, on current numbers. And let me just put it this way. January, okay, let me start in November. I went to Rio, met this guy who turned me on to crypto. Came back from Rio and decided, you know what, I'm going to learn everything I want to learn about this thing. Mid-January, I built my rig for $1,700. Right now, my rig is still running. My rig has already paid for itself within the first 3 months. So right now, I'm just, making money, basically. Free, clear. At the end of the month, I pay the electricity that the rig burns and generally make a profit of over $200-300 with just the one rig that I built. Free and clear money. So what we're telling you right now is not, we've already had the question of, is this some kind of Ponzi? Because the person felt like, wow, how are you guys able to give such a return? Well, it's once you really understand the technology, once you really understand how much these chains are willing to pay for computing power, you'll understand how we're able to promise a return like that. And this won't last forever. And this is why we won't be able to offer 40-something% return, forever. And we'll get more into that later. But that's why that's how we're able to guarantee if you come in on board right now, you'll be able to see some of those great returns.
I want to add something to give perspective to you guys to this too. Right now, we're just discussing internal rate of return per year. The beautiful thing about the technology that we're getting ourselves involved with is that we're seeking to compensate all of our investors in Bitcoin, meaning you receive the dollar value return, but it's in Bitcoin. What does that mean? Well, on the back end, once you receive your Bitcoin returns, you have a very significant and strong upside potential. Does Bitcoin crash suddenly? Yes. But what happens after that? It consolidates its value and it goes back up even more.
Usually within a day or two.
So, you're talking about risks. With our model, with the nature of the business that we're in, with the nature of the coin that we seek to put you in, there's so many different areas in which this thing is hedged. It's just, to us, it's just a no-brainer. We need the people.
Yep. I have 2 points I would like to make on the same line. And first off, basically, like Alvin said, the sky is the limit with the returns you can see. Now, if you make your initial investment, you have the option of getting it back in dollars if you want. But since we're on alt-in crypto, we seek to make the returns in crypto, and then wherever you want to go with that, you can go with that. But a more important point I'd like to make, built into our model, is we seek to protect our investors' contributions. So built into our model is reservations to be able to refund investors after the maturity period if an investor seek to take all of their money out, we will have the reserve set up. As we grow, we will have more and more and more reserves set up to guarantee that at the end of the maturity period of your investment, if you say, you know what, I need my money for whatever reason, you have an emergency, your money will be in the company, will be guaranteed to be returned to you after the maturity period in full, including any dividends and whatnot that you earned along the lines. So we've thought about that. That's actually been a very serious point that we wanted to make, because we want to differentiate ourselves from companies who run on just maybe a 10% reserve. You know, if there's ever a rush, everybody wants their money, you know, there's like a total collapse of the empire kind of thing. We don't want to run that way.
We're a crypto-based company, but the great thing about us, I think what sets us apart is that even though we are extremely excited about the potential of cryptocurrencies, we're operating very conservatively. And even at the conservative point that we are, we're still conservatively projecting a return that blows out the water some of the traditional investment returns. It's mind-blowing to me as I think about it.
Yep. Where's Michael? Do you have any information you want to add in for our
I'm listening to you
live?
guys. I'm listening to you guys, and what I'd like to add is, they're absolutely right. You can take any vehicle, any financial vehicle possible. You're not going to see a return anywhere above 20% unless you're putting down $50, $60, $100,000. And this is in the area of what we call real property or real commodity. What you're looking at and what you're getting into is an area that is uncharted water. And because it's uncharted water, you have a higher possibility for a great return. Yes, we're giving up to 44%. But what that says is, okay, I gave you $1,000. I'm bringing back home $444 or $440 off of that, which is my 40%. But the beauty is, it's going back in cryptos. Cryptos seem to go up. So you can receive from our company 44%. But if you decide that you want to hold your crypto for a little longer, you're going to make more than 44%. The other side is, cryptos right now is a little bit over $6,000. That's about 3 ounces, maybe 4 ounces of gold. Now, the average person can't buy an ounce of gold, okay? Because an ounce of gold is about $1,300, okay? Now, one crypto is pretty much 3 or 4 times that amount. You have an opportunity to get in, mine them. Like the 1849 gold rush, you are mining Bitcoins so you can hold them, so that when this turns over and grows, you have what we will be using next today. You have the tomorrow today. That is something that in my eyes is priceless. You're getting in on the ground floor of a great opportunity.
One thing, we're gonna move on to the next segment in a minute, but one last thing I wanted to add is basically along the same line. Currently, the total investment in the world into the crypto sphere is about $170 billion, right? And Bitcoin, which leads the pack, is currently at $6,000. Now projections show that by the end of 2018, we're going to be over $1 trillion invested in cryptos. What does that mean? A coin that is currently being sold for $1 will easily triple, quadruple, even based on whatever features it offers, could even go tenfold. One day I watched Ethereum, which is the second most popular coin, go from $11 to $250 in one day. I watched it. I was trading during the day, and I watched it happen right in front of me. So, and it has never gone below $200 since. It's just stayed up there. So imagine the people who had a bunch of those coins. Those people are like, millionaires right now.
Not to cut you off, but I follow this. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I've been in the banking industry for about 20 some years. Okay. I've been following trends in banking and things of that nature. And I'm the guy that says this is going to kind of eventually become regulated. Now, across my desk, I'd say about a week ago, Russia, a whole other country, decides to actually ban cryptos. And in the process they ban them, they decide to create their own crypto ruble, which is the equivalent of their own money. It's the same, under the same technology of a crypto, of the cryptos that are out in the world, but it is literally their own design, their own monetary system, and it has the same value as the actual physical Russian dollar. Their crypto has the same value as a Russian dollar, and this is where we're headed. This is where we're headed with cryptos, where the actual banks, the entities are looking at saying, okay, this is where we're going to be using going forward. Because if you take your credit card, let's just take this credit card right here, okay? Every credit card has that. That's a chip. All of a sudden, what they do today is if you have like a system, you take the credit card and you're literally just doing that. And then all of a sudden that's your whole transaction. You've been charged the amount of money, okay, from your bank account directly to wherever the institution is. That's where we're headed. And at this particular point in time, you're getting the opportunity to get on the ground floor on something that is exploding exponentially. Because remember, cryptos somehow, Bitcoin, so to speak, started in 2009. I would say about three people out of 100,000 knew about cryptos at that time. Not until 2014 did anybody really start hearing about cryptos. But again, everybody said one magic thing. This is something they're not going to do. This is just a pipe dream. This is that. Here we are, 2017. Russia has cryptos. I don't know if you guys have heard of a thing called universal basic income. India is implementing universal basic income based on a crypto that they're building. They're doing that in 4 different countries in Africa. So cryptos is here to stay. The thing is, do you want to use cryptos today and be well established when it comes in as official, or do you want to wait until it's forced upon you? Same concept with the New York. I don't know if any of y'all are familiar with New York City. When the Metro cards came about, it was a time there was a mayor, Rudy Giuliani. He brought in the Metro card, and how he started, he gave everybody free rides, free this, and everybody's okay. We'll start using it. Now, there's no more tokens. You can't buy a token. You can't buy little white strips to get on the train. If you don't have a Metro card, you just don't ride the train. And this is what's happening with the cryptos. Everybody's sitting there saying, oh, this is just a novelty. This is not going to go anywhere. But yet, the same people you are hearing saying that this is a novelty, this is a bubble, this is that, in the background, they're setting up their private groups and they're buying into cryptos. Let's take Mark Cuban, for example. He turned around not once, not twice, but 3 times. He said, this is a bubble. This is rubbish. I can show you 5 different articles where he's funding ICOs, where he has his own crypto company coming up that after he said is rubbish. It's not. This is where we're going. So again, it's, do you want to be on the front end or do you want to be on the back end? Because at the end of the day, we will be using cryptos.
All right. So Alvin, if you have anything to add, go ahead and add it, and then we'll move on to the Q&A segment of this meeting.
Yeah, I hope you guys came ready with your questions. The last thing that I want to say is, again, from just hearing me, Will, and Mike, you can see that we've spent a significant amount of time really like seeking to understand the environment, the technology, and the means in which we can make something happen with it for us. For us. Us meaning us and you. You as the investor who's going to be in with us. What is the value that INVSTUR brings? Experience. You've heard our conversation in our line of reasoning. The system that's coming from that reasoning. And of course, the profits that's going to come from that system. But you also hear from us a means in which we want to help to educate each other about this next system and this next world and how to integrate and apply it right now as our current money dynamics and money situation is. And so that is why we have our tagline, INVSTUR, invest in your future. So you're not just investing monetarily, you're investing intellectually, you're investing systematically. And we are creating automated income with what we have at this point. And now we move on to the question and answer section. Let me unmute everyone. And so you guys can start to introduce yourselves. Let me see if I can, all right. Come on. Jeffet, you can seek to unmute yourself. There you go. And Shannon, you can unmute yourself. And somebody chime in. Introduce yourself.
Hello.
Hey, what's up, Jeffet? We can hear you.
All right. How are you all?
We are awesome, man.
Yeah,
Thank you for coming to the first interest meeting.
Thank you for inviting me.
Awesome, awesome. Jeffet, you got any questions for us, or you want to introduce yourself? What's up?
Well, I just saw the link on Facebook, and I was just curious of how it is. I saw some of the videos, and haven't had previous experience in it, with the exception of playing. The first time that I heard about Bitcoin is actually playing a game that I downloaded, and it was like, okay, what is Bitcoin? And it's like, I guess it's where you purchase these coins to play games and everything else. And that's the first time that I hear about it. But then next I hear about this right here. So I was like, okay, sounds pretty interesting. So.
All right. Yeah, definitely. This is going to be the platform. Not only will you be investing here, but you will be also learning about the sphere. Really, we have a ton of knowledge to share, and our investors are going to be in the first row of getting that, because once we launch, we're going to have regular meetings with our investors to teach and to also give them an idea of what their portfolios are doing, etc. So do you have any questions for us?
No, I was just looking at, I saw a couple other things too. Also, I guess it was a link that was sent out on the page itself that was YouTube. And not only did I watch that link, I watched other links too also. And I saw that the other technology that they have, like with, say, for instance, with ATM machines too also. So, and that was just another thing that I saw too also. And I was like, previously before working in the armored car industry, I know that a lot of people, just with owning, ATM machines, it's it's a bit of an investment just with that. And then, you know, because and a return that comes with that too also. So, you know, I thought it was actually pretty interesting. So
ATM machines may be around for a little bit more, but what's happened is there's these phenomenal intermediary companies now that are not just what you call an exchange where you can buy the cryptocurrency directly, but these intermediary, such as the one that will probably advocate to our first investors, BitPay, where you basically have an interface with the Bitcoin and attaching it to a debit card. So you could spend in dollars, but you can hold in Bitcoin. And what that does is eliminate much of the need for you to go to some third party intermediary in your local area, such as someone who trades you Bitcoin for dollars or a Bitcoin ATM. Is real exciting right now. It's starting to get more streamlined. But yeah.
Okay, I have a question from somebody that can't get into the for some reason can't get in. They gotta let him in. He's saying, how does cryptocurrency work? Can I spend the money, or is it like trading currency with other investors? He has no idea. You want to take care of that, Will?
Yeah.
I think Will fell out.
You think?
Alvin.
Okay. Yeah, that just covers exactly what I was saying. You would have to have your cryptocurrencies in what's called either a wallet. You could have a more direct wallet that's either on your cell phone, or you have a wallet that's at an exchange. And that holds your coins. And then from most exchanges, you can sell your cryptocurrencies for their relative dollar amount at the time. Or you can do, just like I said, you can have Will's back. Okay, you can have an exchange, and what that exchange does is hold your cryptos, but you can also have, like you say, a BitPay in which that wallet is mirrored, and you just use your debit card. So as for switching back between cryptos and cryptos, that gap is getting tighter and tighter, closer and closer each day, to where it's damn near seamless.
Yeah, and it's not only BitPay that's doing this right now. There's actually a couple of companies who've come around and are accepting not just Bitcoin and different coins that you can turn into dollars. But I heard a gentleman mention the ATM machines to buy Bitcoin and stuff like that, and that reminded me, like when the credit card and the Visa cards and whatnot, when they first came out, you know, you maybe would find a couple merchants who accepted that form of payment. Well, this is where we are right now. We're at the ground floor. We're building the infrastructure to make this thing an everyday thing that everybody uses.
Okay. All right.
And
No, I'm asking him as we speak. Is there anything else he needs to know? That's all. Okay, because he's confused. He thought that it was specifically on a trade by trade thing. He didn't understand that this is actually kind of legal tender.
yeah. I actually actively use I have a BitPay account, and I've taken several trips now where I exclusively use my BitPay card, and within seconds of me transferring my Bitcoins into my BitPay card, they're usable within seconds. And I could just swipe it wherever I want. I can use any ATM machine around the world for a flat rate, and it's a very low flat rate for taking money out of the ATM. It's great. It's absolutely amazing. And this is something that not a lot of people know about. And as more people come on board and invest their money into the sphere, it's like buying a stock in Google when it was starting out. Today, you probably can't afford it, but back then, you probably could buy multiple shares of Google. You know what I mean? Well, this is it right now. That's where we are right now.
And what's even more beautiful about it is that instead of having to buy a whole share of crypto or a whole share a whole share of Google. What you can do is buy fractions. You can buy fractions as you go.
Exactly, exactly. But anyway, we want to keep this in the lines of questioning. If anybody has any questions they want answered, we can answer them right now. If not, we can move on.
Yeah, I got a quick question. It's Shannon.
What's
Yeah.
up, Shannon?
How's it going?
Hey, how you guys doing? My question basically is, I'm old school. I'm a hands-on dude. So is there, wherever the rig is, where is the rig going to be, and will I be able to go check it out and meet the rest of the guys that I'm investing with?
We can look into doing maybe investor meetings, like live meetings, where you could do meet and greet with other investors. As far as the locations of the rigs, um, initially we're going to be invested in. We're going to build these rigs in Florida. Please mute if you're not actively talking, so that we
No
can
problem.
hear. Yep. Um, yeah. So we're going to originally set up our. We're actually building a small location right now, so we could specifically for mining. So we're gonna have our rigs there. If investors do want to come and check out the equipment and whatnot, and we're more than willing to allow that because you're going to be essentially investing in the company. But um, our long-term goal is to move out of state to one of those colder states or countries. And the reason why we want to do that, number one, cheaper electricity. Number two, it takes a lot of power to cool down those units. So if you're already in a country where it's cooler around the year, year round, you'll spend less money cooling those systems. As a matter of fact, I believe Iceland is actually one of the big hubs right now for crypto. They have two things. They have very cold climate and they have very cheap electricity. So most of the big crypto mining companies are actually vested in over there. So once we have significant capital, we will eventually move to a country where that will allow us to maximize the returns also for our investors, etc. So yeah, that's pretty much. I believe that answered all of your questions there. If not, feel free to let me know what else I can explain out to you there.
We've also worked with the are thinking about the idea of perhaps a live video feed for the mining room.
Yes.
And updated video tours of the rig to assure that we're making things happen the way that we need to.
We will be as transparent as we can be to show that this is not anything like a Ponzi or anything like that. And that's another thing to consider is we're going to be an assets company. We're going to have hard assets. So the assets are going to be valuable. So your money is going to be protected at the very least in these assets. So if push comes to shove, you need your money, the assets are there to get your money back to you. Your money will absolutely be protected.
Yes, and to expand on Will's comment, the transparency. I'm handling from A to Z, and as far as the legalities, as far as the state and the federal legalities of investor. As as y'all are in the group, as information becomes available, I present them to the actual investors as far as a scanned copy of the document that can be reviewed. If anybody needs things personally emailed to them, I'm more than happy to do so, because I believe in keeping things very transparent. I believe in educating people because, again, like Shannon said, he's old school, and unfortunately, a lot of people don't understand investing. They don't understand or they never was around it or was kind of brought into the realm of investing. So this is kind of new for them. So me personally, I would rather, be very transparent, make sure everybody understands the legality of the company, because I believe everybody understands that. And then once that's taken care of, begin to show the investors about investing, not only what we're doing, but what you guys can do on your own once you get your returns from us.
Yeah.
Then you say, okay.
We're not advisors. We got to put that disclaimer out there. We're not advisors. No. However, we can share with you our company or personal investment philosophies. And then you could decide whether they make sense for you or not, whether the ideas can help you or not, and the reasoning behind our investment philosophies.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Exactly. That's exactly it.
Any more questions from the group?
Yeah, this is Japheth. I have a question. Are there any plans? I know this is a start. This is the initial, but I was just curious if there's any possibility in the future, if not currently, of being traded or on the New York stock or posted on the stock exchange.
I'll handle that.
Is he specifically talking about the company itself, or is he talking about the coins?
You can do both. I mean, this is just a question for the group itself.
Yeah.
If you could give the answer to both.
Okay, go ahead, Mike.
Well, as far as again, if you recall my initial pitch, Russia already has their own crypto. It's the same value as a Russian ruble. It's interchangeable. You can have electronic Russian money, or you can have paper Russian money. They see the value in this. The United States has been trying to figure out how they can regulate cryptos. Okay, and what I see going forward, that once I would say regulations or the formation of some form of regulations, these actual coins will be sent to a forex system, if you know what that kind of is. But what they'll try to do is make this into a forex system. Once that happens, and this is going into regulation, companies such as INVSTUR, that is basing themselves on kind of current bank and financial institutions regulatory standards, will be grandfathered in. So the opportunity to actually go public is far greater than what you see that I personally post in the crypto group as these wham bam thank you bam type of companies that are here today and going tomorrow. So as far as investors concerned, that's the plan.
It's a possibility, and it's a great question, and but this is why we need your help too, to get lifted off the ground, and not just get lifted off the ground, is just to make a strong entrance into the market. And I would really like for Mike to brush just gently over what you've been doing in the background for us in the legal field as well. Now, I want people to understand that we are doing this very carefully, extremely carefully, and making sure that we're very legal. And I want you to go ahead and brush over that just really quick for us.
For one, I investigated what is needed for a financial institution. A financial institution that does financial services, up to including mortgages, is actually needed to function. Once I was able to get that information, I began to see what are the requirements to become a trading company, such as a securities company. I gathered that information. The moment I was able to gather that information, I sat down with the lawyers to actually begin to develop the company, so that this would be in accordance with the SEC, all state and federal regulations, so that even though cryptos in itself is not quote unquote regulated, and if and when they do, we're already in accordance with the laws that are on the books now. Basically, I registered the company. First, I registered the company, went out and got our EIN number. I'm dealing with merchants. I'm dealing with merchants so that we're able to actually get ourselves positioned with MasterCard and Visa, so that if and when we do an ICO and if we do what we're doing, we're able to be we're able to enter into the financial market through two of the companies that control all the credit transactions worldwide. And this is what we're doing now, planning for our future of growth.
Between
Yep,
Will, I, and Mike, we daily stress test our model, meaning like we're constantly. I guess the best way to put it is that we're the devil's advocate to our own selves, because we have a vested interest in this not going sideways. And so that's why we developing models to reduce as much as everyone's risk as possible, and yet be transparent.
Yeah, and this is a good time to let everybody know that we're not just trying to lift off using investor money. We ourselves are investing in this opportunity as well. We're putting in our own money. We have skin in the game.
We have skin in the game.
That's correct. That's exactly right.
Yep. All right. Well, we do thank you guys for stopping by. Are there any more questions? No questions? Okay, we're going to conclude the question segment. And now comes the offer. Remember that 44% that we were up to, 44% that we were talking about a little bit earlier? I'm going to let Will tell you guys the offer that we have on the table for you. It's very exciting.
Yeah, definitely. Before we get to that, the way we get to these numbers is now we just don't pull them out of a hat. There are websites specifically designed to, you go in there, you put in, okay, how much is electricity going to cost you on a cent per kilowatt hour basis? Which coin are you looking to mine? And how much hashing power do you bring? And it tells us, which coin is going to be most profitable to mine. And it tells you also what kind of return you'll be getting on your money once you pay your electricity every month. So we were sure about the numbers. We've tested them. We know that we can comfortably, especially as we mature as a company, we'll be able to hit that number. Now, which comes to the most important part of this is the up to 44% is only available to our investors who start up with us from the ground floor. For as long as you're part of the company or you have money invested in the company, you will receive 44% on current investment. Or if you decide to reinvest more money into the company, you'll receive up to 44%. Where it becomes even more interesting is as we lift off, right? People who come in later on won't be receiving that much of a return on their money. We'll be using that extra momentum to get to kind of shore up and guarantee that our initial investors will see this type of return. So as we grow, you grow with us, and we're also looking not only to get people to invest, we are also encouraging that you continue to invest. Your dividends, you can reinvest your dividends automatically, or you could request to take them out, but we encourage you reinvest them and reinvest more of your own money into the company and grow with us. So the point I want to make is basically this is an opportunity for people who lift off with us specifically, and we have a set date to lift off of January 1st. and we're looking to collect all the investments. We'll be mailing out or emailing out documents for serious investors to look over and to sign their legal documents. They're going to be signed online on a platform that is legal and will be able to be held in a court of law. And basically, you lift off with us, and you receive that for up to 44%. Once we have enough momentum, I am very confident we'll be able to deliver up, the 44% to our investors on a constant basis. And so with that said, you take it over, Alvin, and we'll conclude the meeting.
We want as many of you as possible in on the legacy floor as a legacy member, and that's what it is. 1,000% gets you that up to 44 lifetime pending, pending requirements upon withdrawals. But it's very much in your favor. Again, I don't know any other vehicle that will allow you to do this at this time. But because we're so uniquely positioned in this situation, we're very confident that we can make that happen. Our question to you tonight, for those of you who are on here, or for those of you who will be listening in, is are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready to put down? We told you the business. We told you where we come from. We told you how we built it. We told you what returns to expect. Are you ready tonight or very soon to put in for your $1,000 legacy position? If you're ready tonight, all you simply have to do is hit me, Mike, or Will up, and we will walk you through the process of funding. Funding right now is going through, it's a very simple process. As long as you have a Gmail account, you can send money through Gmail. We will verify it. We will send you a receipt back. It's very streamlined, and that's why we're using it right now as our startup funding source. As we develop and build, however, we will have our own website with our own username, passwords, back walls. We're developing that still. Are you ready? Are you ready? We're ready. That's the question. Hello. Hello, everyone.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, Mrs. Jetpack. What do you think about the opportunity?
I mean, I think it's something to really think about. I just, what I have to do is just talk. I have to talk some finances over with my significant other and go from there. So
show her this presentation. Show her the presentation, definitely.
Yeah, and we'll have opportunities for people to come in at a lower number after we lift off. But as I've explained, is we're looking for people to invest in us right now so we can make a strong takeoff. And after that opportunity, you won't have the opportunity to get that kind of return. And so definitely think about it. If you have questions, shoot it into the group. We're there. I created this group. I created this group in the beginning of the year specifically for this. This really was part of my long-term goal, is to see something like this take off, where we can educate, specifically our brothers, here in the USA, and to help these guys become financially free, and so we can eventually decide, make our own decision on where we want to live around the world. And trust me, this will go a long way, to accomplishing that dream. So that's what I wanted to say on that. And any other questions?
Mike, you have any?
Yeah, the parting comment is, this was a successful meeting. I feel it was excellent. I believe that these gentlemen here, and the attendees can, if they feel that they one saying they need to speak to a significant other, can take the video and begin to present it to whomever they like, because this is not only a great opportunity for them that's inside of the crypto group, but it's a great opportunity for their families, their friends,
Anybody.
anybody that's around them. Because again, we're here to grow, to get, for all of us to get out the matrix of the everyday, like Will said, to be able to live the life that we want to live and be able to decide when we go and how we go and why we go in our day to day. And right now is the opportunity. Now is the time to sit down and say, I want to get involved in this. Let's do this, and then move forward and begin to push forward as to what you want in life, and see and realize it. Realize the things that you want in life, and it all starts today.
I want to finish with these words, basically. As far as our goal goes, we are well within. We already have basically. We're looking for 30 to 50 investors. We're well on our way to receiving at least 30 investors. We have committed. We have people who are committed to this project, and we're well on our way to receiving those 30. So just think about that for a moment. We are happening. We're going to make this happen. We are just giving you the opportunity to jump on board as well and grow
Exactly.
and grow with us, basically. I am
Invest.
100% confident we will make this happen.
We are INVSTUR. Invest in your future. All right. Everyone have an excellent night. Any other final words, gentlemen?
Thank you very much, you guys, for attending. Show it to anybody you think that might be interested. If they are, just point them our way, and we'll discuss further with them and bring everybody on board.
As soon as, yes, what's up?
I got a question before you leave. Are y'all planning on having another meeting like this?
Yes, we're gonna hold
Yes.
these at least weekly, maybe bi-weekly. At least weekly,
Okay.
maybe you'll be alerted of way ahead of time.
And
Okay.
then everything's always on my regular Facebook feed. Everything that's pretty much that's announcements, I post them on my Facebook feed so that everybody can see them.
Sounds like a winner.
All righty, excellent.
Thank you very much.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you.
You
All
guys,
right, y'all guys have a wonderful and blessed evening.
yeah,
It
All right,
will
you
be
do the
posted
same.
it will be posted in the groups. Also, if you saw this on a different group, it'll be posted in those groups as well. All right, guys, have a good night.
All right.
All right.
Peace.